You're standing at the airport gate, suitcase in hand, ready to jet off to that dream destination you've been talking about for years. Maybe it's a quiet beach somewhere, or a city full of history you've always wanted to explore. The excitement is bubbling up, that little spark of adventure that's still alive and kicking no matter how many birthdays you've celebrated. But then, just for a moment, a quiet thought sneaks in. Am I really up for this trip like I used to be? If you're over 70, we bet that question's crossed your mind at least once. And you know what? It's a smart one to ask. Traveling after 70 can be one of the best things you do, those memories, those stories. But there are some hidden dangers that can turn a great getaway into a real headache if you're not ready for them. We're not here to scare you off your next adventure, though. Far from it. We just want you to go with your eyes wide open so you can enjoy every second without a hitch. As we get older, travelling isn't quite the same as it was in our 40s or 50s. Our bodies change, our energy shifts, and the world out there, it's not always built with us in mind. Things that never crossed your radar before, like long walks through a terminal or sketchy hotel stairs, can suddenly become bigger deals than you'd expect. That's why this video is all about the hidden dangers of travelling after 70 that every senior needs to know before packing that bag. We're going to walk through 7 sneaky pitfalls that could trip you up, literally or figuratively, and more importantly, what you can do to sidestep them. These aren't just guesses or old wives' tales. They're real patterns folks like us run into, backed by what doctors, travel experts, and plenty of seasoned travellers have learned the hard way. Stick with us because by the time we're done, you'll have the know-how to plan a trip that's all fun and no fuss. First up, let's talk about overdoing it with your itinerary. You know how it goes. You're so excited to see everything that you cram your days full. A museum in the morning, a walking tour in the afternoon, dinner across town at night. Back in the day, that might have been a breeze, but after 70, pushing yourself too hard can hit you like a freight train. Take our friend Ed, 72. He went to Paris last year, determined to see every famous spot in 5 days. By day 3, he was wiped out, sitting on a bench by the Seine, too tired to even enjoy the view. Turns out, studies show that fatigue isn't just draining. It can weaken your immune system and make you more prone to getting sick, especially in new places. The danger here isn't the travel itself, it's thinking you can still keep that old pace. But here's the fix, slow it down. Pick 1 or 2 things a day you really want to do and leave room to rest. Ed learned his lesson. On his next trip, he spent a whole afternoon at one cafe, sipping coffee and watching the world go by, and he said it was the best part of his week. Give yourself permission to enjoy less, but enjoy it more. Your body will thank you and you'll actually remember the good stuff. While we're on the subject of pacing yourself, there's another sneaky trap that ties right in, ignoring your physical limits. Travel loves to test us, those cobblestone streets that look so charming in pictures. They're a nightmare if your balance isn't what it used to be. Or those budget flights with a tight connection that means sprinting across an airport. Not so fun when your knees start complaining. We heard about a gal, Martha, 74, who booked a tour in Italy. Beautiful idea, right? But she didn't realise how much walking was involved until she was hobbling through Rome, clinging to her husband's arm, missing half the sights because she couldn't keep up. The danger here is assuming everything will work out like it always did. Truth is, your stamina, your joints, even your eyesight, they're different now, and that's okay. The trick is to plan with them in mind. Look up your destinations, check if there's uneven ground, lots of stairs, or long stretches without a bench. Pack a lightweight cane if you're unsure, or book a tour with a golf cart option. Martha swears by that now. Test your limits at home first too. Walk a mile and see how you feel, because how you move today can tell you a lot about what you'll handle out there. We've got a grip on pacing ourselves and respecting our physical limits, and you're probably starting to see how little adjustments can keep your travels smooth and fun. But let's shift gears a bit and talk about something that's not so much about you, it's about where you're headed. One of the trickiest hidden dangers after 70 is landing in a place that's not set up for how you move or live now. You know those glossy travel brochures with winding streets and rustic charm? They don't always mention the uneven pavement or the lack of elevators. Take our buddy Frank, 71. He went to a little hill town in Spain last summer, dreaming of tapas and sunsets. What he didn't expect was a hotel with no lift and a room 3 floors up. By the time he hauled his suitcase to the top, he was too winded to enjoy the view. The danger here isn't just the hassle, it's that places built for Instagram don't always think about folks like us. And it's not just stairs. Maybe it's a bathroom with no grab bars, or a bus tour that drops you a half-mile from the main site with no shade in sight. These things can turn a good trip sour fast if you're not ready. The good news? You can outsmart this one with a little homework. Before you book, dig into the details. Call the hotel and ask about elevators, ramps, or even how far the lobby is from the street. Look up reviews from other seniors. Sites like TripAdvisor are gold for this. Frank's next trip, he picked a spot with a ground floor room and a shuttle to town, and he said it felt like a vacation, not a workout. Even simple stuff like packing a small flashlight for dim hallways or picking flights with longer layovers can dodge those sneaky traps. Pay attention to what a place demands of you, because how well it fits your needs today can make or break your whole adventure. And speaking of what a place throws at you, let's talk about something that hits even closer to home, your health on the road. After 70, your body's a little more particular about what it can handle, and travel loves to shake things up. Think about it. New food, weird sleep schedules, maybe a germy plane cabin. We know a gal, Linda, 73, who went to Mexico for a week, loved the idea of tacos and beaches, but she didn't count on the spicy street food upsetting her stomach, or the heat making her meds act funny. She spent half the trip in her room, sipping water and wishing she'd planned better. The danger here isn't the destination, it's forgetting that your health doesn't take a vacation. Doctors say stuff like dehydration, digestive issues, even blood pressure spikes hit us harder as we age, especially when we're out of our routine. And if you've got a condition, diabetes, heart stuff, anything, travel can nudge it in ways you don't see coming. But you don't have to let that stop you. Just play it smart. Pack your meds in your carry-on, not your suitcase. Linda learned that one the hard way when her bag got delayed. Bring extra too, in case your flight home gets bumped. Check what you're eating. Maybe skip that third helping of mystery sauce until you know how it sits. And water? Keep it close, especially in hot spots or on long days. Linda's trick now is a little electrolyte powder she tosses in her bottle. Keeps her steady no matter where she roams. Ask yourself, what does my body need to stay happy? Because how you care for it out there can keep your trip on track instead of derailing it. Now, while we're thinking about staying steady, there's another danger that's less about your insides and more about what's around you. Something that can catch you off guard if you're not watching for it. Let's dive into that next and see how the people and places you meet can shift the game entirely. We've tackled how your surroundings and your health can throw curveballs when you're traveling, and you're probably feeling how a little foresight can keep those bumps from turning into roadblocks. But let's talk about something that's a bit sneakier. Something that's not just about the place, but the people you run into along the way. One of the hidden dangers after 70 is falling prey to scams or pushy situations that prey on travelers who might not move as fast or think as quick as they once did. Imagine this. You're in a bustling market, soaking in the sights, when someone shoves a free trinket in your hand, then demands cash. Or maybe it's a slick cab driver who takes the long way around, racking up the meter while you're none the wiser. Our pal George, 76, ran into this in a big city. He thought he'd scored a cheap ride from a guy at the station, only to pay triple what the locals did. The danger here isn't just losing a few bucks. It's the stress and the hit to your confidence that can sour the whole trip. Scammers often spot seniors as easy marks, figuring we're too polite or too tired to push back. But you're smarter than that, and you can stay one step ahead. Keep your wits sharp. Stick to official taxis or apps like Uber where the price is set. If someone's pressuring you, a firm no thanks and a walk away works wonders. George swears by it now. Carry small bills so you're not flashing a big wad of cash. And keep your valuables close, maybe in a neck wallet under your shirt. It's not about being paranoid, it's about enjoying your trip without that nagging worry. Think about how you'd handle a fast talker at home, because how you stand your ground out there can keep your adventure yours, not theirs. And while we're on keeping things under control, let's swing to one last danger that ties it all together: getting stranded without a backup plan. Travel's full of surprises, and after 70, a missed flight or a lost bag isn't just an annoyance, it can throw you off in ways that hit harder than they used to. Take our neighbour Sue, 72. She flew to see her grandkids, but a storm cancelled her connection, and she didn't have her charger or enough meds packed in her carry-on. She spent a night in a chilly airport, stressed and scrambling, when a little prep could have saved the day. The danger here is assuming it'll all work out like it did years ago. Your energy is not endless now, and a hiccup can drain you fast if you're not ready. Doctors even say stress like that can spike your blood pressure or mess with your sleep, stuff you don't need when you're far from home. The fix is simple, though. Build a safety net. Pack a small emergency kit in your carry-on meds for a few extra days, a phone charger, a snack, maybe a light sweater. Know your airline's rebooking number before you go. Sue's got it saved in her contacts now. And if you're travelling with someone, split your stuff between bags so one lost suitcase doesn't leave you high and dry. Ask yourself, what's the one thing I'd hate to be without? Because how you plan for the unexpected today can keep your trip a joy, not a jolt. Now step back and think about this whole picture. Overpacking your days, pushing your body too far, landing in tough spots, neglecting your health, dodging scams, and skipping a backup plan. These aren't here to stop you from travelling. They're just signposts to travel smarter. You've still got that wanderlust, that itch to see the world, and you should chase it. It's about tweaking how you go, so every trip feels like a win. Start small, pick one thing from this, like slowing your pace or packing that extra pill bottle, and watch how it changes the game. You're not too old for this. You're too wise not to do it right. What's your take? Drop a comment below and tell us one travel danger you've faced, or one tip you're taking with you next time. We love hearing your stories. They keep this conversation alive, and we can't wait to see what you've got to say. If this hit the spot for you, give it a like, hit that subscribe button and tap the bell so you don't miss what's next. Share it with a travel buddy who needs to hear this too. Thanks for watching. Here's to hitting the road with confidence, no matter how many candles are on your cake. See you soon.